Well, hello. I'm Jane Hogan, the wellness engineer. Today I'm going to be talking about habits, how you can let go of ones that don't serve you and create new ones that do. This show is Wellness by Design. It's all about helping people uh, create a life of wellness by designing, intentionally living a life that's going to promote optimal health. It's my own journey with rheumatoid arthritis that got me to hang up my hard hat after 30 years of working as an engineer and follow my heart, which is now to help people and teach people about how to become their own healers. And I really love what I do. So thank you for joining me today. So, I'm going to talk to you about habits. I love that quote that says, little hinges swing big doors, because we think of sometimes having to make these big sweeping changes to our health, and that, it's such a big thing, when really we can make little changes, and little changes can make all the difference. So, it's about making little changes that give you progress in the right direction. You can take these baby steps. They can take you anywhere you want to go as long as you keep taking them. So, baby steps. All right. And the other thing I really like to say as well is that it's not what you do once in a while that matters, it's what you do every day. So, yes, you can splurge and do something once in a while. It's not a big deal. But what you do every day is what matters most. So, what are habits? Habits are basically those actions and behaviors that we take that are automatic. We do them without even having to think about them, because these behaviors are laid down in our subconscious mind. So let's just go back to, if you're going to remember when you learned to ride a two-wheeler. Like, I can remember that day. I don't know how old I was, but I was like concentrating. I was like pushing off the sidewalk, the curb, trying to find that balance and doing it over and over and over again until I got it. And I wasn't thinking about anything else. I had to like really think about it. Now I get on a bike, you never forget, right? How to ride a bike. Think about when you learned how to drive a car. First doing those driving lessons. Remember, there was so much to think about. Oh, you got to like look in the mirror. You got to be thinking about how hard to press on the gas and how your hands have to go. And I remember just sort of almost being overwhelmed with all these things you had to think about. And now I can get in the car and drive from A to B and sometimes not even be aware or remember having done it. That's how automatic some of these things become. So these are habits now. They are behaviors that we've learned. We had to think about in the beginning, but we learned, and now they're in our subconscious mind. We can have good habits and we can have bad habits, right? So good habits obviously are ones that serve us, and then the bad habits are not serving us. so so yeah, like, brushing your teeth every day is often a habit for most of us. Maybe several times a day, maybe after each meal, that becomes a habit. Things that aren't serving us well could be things like food choices, binge watching, social media scrolling, gossiping, critical thoughts, judgments of other people, just generally negative thinking, overspending or shopping, like that retail therapy. So some of these habits are not necessarily serving us. We probably know, if we sat down and thought about it, that they're not serving us, but we can't really stop ourselves from doing it. These are the things that are in our subconscious mind, and it takes effort. It takes effort to overcome them. So, as a health coach, this is one thing I help people with. I help people overcome habits that aren't serving them or create new habits that are going to serve them. And a lot of times it just takes someone shining a light and having that commitment to it to make it happen. Now, you don't have to have a health coach, of course. Obviously, if you've been trying something for a long time, or if you're in illness and you need to make quick changes, then maybe you need some extra support. But I'm going to give you some ideas here today that you can implement on your own. All right, book that I absolutely love. about habits is by a guy that studied habits for years and is actually an expert on habits. And that is James Clear. The name of his book is called Atomic Habits. Atomic is tiny, right? Tiny but yet powerful. So, tiny habits that can really shift your life. Atomic Habits. It's a great book. I really recommend it. So, some of the things I'm going to talk about now are not my ideas at all. They come from James Clear. And he even says that some of the ideas in there didn't come from him, they came from other people. But he's got a very clear, it's funny, his last name is clear way of speaking about it. So, he talks about the habit loop. What makes a habit? He talks about four parts of it, that there's a cue, a craving, a response, and a reward. So it's kind of like a circular thing: cue, craving, response, reward. And then when you get the reward and that cue happens again, it makes this whole cycle happen again. So you get the cue. Oh, perhaps it might be an ad on TV for food. There's the cue, triggers a craving. You go get the food, potato chips, something like that. You eat it. So the cue, craving, the response, and then the reward. You're satisfied by eating it. Then it kind of it creates this loop that strengthens every time. Every time that loop happens, it gets strengthened again and again and again. People who smoke cigarettes, of course, it's very hard to break those kinds of loops when they're so strong, so ingrained. And with any habit that we have, a negative habit, positive habits too, this same system works for positive habits. When we have a cue, we have the craving, we have a response, and then a reward. So the thing is, we want to create that habit loop with good habits. We want to break that habit loop with bad habits. Okay, so how do we do that? When we want to create good habits, he says there's four parts that really help create this loop. Is you want to make it obvious, you want to make it attractive, you want to make it easy, and you want to make it satisfying. So as an example, say you wanted to start, I'll use an example. I want to do daily yoga. So I started this a while ago. I wanted to do daily yoga. Now, if I had to go get the mat out and set it up every day, that's going to be hard to do, right? So I leave the mat out. I made a very beautiful space. So leaving the mat out makes it obvious. I actually have to walk over the mat. So I'm leaving the mat out. I'm making it attractive. So I'm creating a nice space where I like to do this. I can look out the window where it is. I have some nice, little things that make me feel happy around there. Oh, Anne says she's still smoking and wants to quit. Okay, listen to some of these things in here. Okay, Anne? Make it easy. So again, I made it easy by having everything set up there. I also have like a little, I've got a timer set up so that I can sit down and like just press a button and start my 20-minute timer with it's got the little, nice om ambient sound and make it satisfying. So it feels really good to me after I've done it. So you see this loop that I'm trying to make creating good habits. We want to make it obvious. We want to make it attractive. We want to make it easy, and we want to make it satisfying. Now, breaking bad habits. So you got a bad habit like smoking or something you want to break. Think about this. It's just the opposite of what I just said. So you want to make it invisible. So instead of being obvious, we make it invisible. Go hide those cigarettes somewhere so you don't see them. Make it unattractive. Start putting thoughts in your mind about, and believe it or not, I smoked years and years ago. I did smoke, not a whole lot, but I did smoke. But I started thinking about, I hate the way it makes my mouth taste. And I think about my lungs filling up. And, for me, that really worked. You got to find something that works for you. Make it unattractive, make it difficult. So, make it really hard to don't have like a lighter in your cigarettes together. Make those things far apart. Or maybe you don't even have a lighter around. How hard is it to smoke if you got to go, I don't know, go out and buy a lighter? I don't know. And then make it unsatisfying. How could you think about how you could make it unsatisfying? And again, you might have to be working with your thoughts here about that. So these are ways you can break a habit. So for me, one thing I wanted to do was not drink as much wine. So first of all, I don't have it in the house, so that's pretty good. Making it unattractive. I think about how I don't want to be the kind of person who needs wine all the time. To me, that's an unattractive quality. So for me, that's where I am. Make it difficult. Well, again, I think it's kind of making it difficult. I don't have it around. I don't. I would have to go to the store to buy it, and then making it unsatisfying. One way that I do that is, well, with my Aura ring that tracks a lot of my health things. I can see that after I have wine, my heart rate variability goes down, and I don't sleep as well. I don't like that. I know that that's not healthy. I know that I feel crappy after I don't sleep well. So these are the kinds of thoughts that help, for me, help reinforce it. And then I might also have, sometimes I've done this too. I put up a little post-it note. I'll write on a post-it note and stick it on my bathroom mirror. Drinking wine makes me feel bad. So try that, like anything at all, right? Okay, so James Clear suggests also, if you're trying to like look at what's going on in your life, now maybe it's obvious to you that you have a habit that you want to let go of, but maybe you want to look at all your daily habits and think about, are they serving me? Are they not serving me? So he suggests making a list of them, of habits, things that you do every day. Like, what do you do first thing when you wake up in the morning? Do you pick up your phone and start scrolling? Like, just start with the beginning of your day and what you do throughout the day. And he says, put a plus sign if it reinforces your desired destiny. Okay, so what do you want in life? Who do you want to be? How do you want to show up in life? Does this habit reinforce that? Make it, make that moving more towards that goal, or not? So if it's reinforcing your desired destiny, you put a plus sign by it. If it's taken away from it, you put a negative sign. If it's neutral, you just put a little equal sign. So then you look at these habits and perhaps just start with one that you're going to change. So maybe this is one I've got to work on. I've kind of slipped again recently into looking at social media in the morning when I'm having my morning hot drink. I don't like doing that because it's supposed to be my peaceful time where I'm disengaged. So I want to work on that. So how would I do that? I know that that's not reinforcing my desired destiny. So I would go back to, breaking the habit, so make it invisible. So maybe I won't even keep my phone in my room. Make it unattractive. Well, I know it's not who I want to be. Make it difficult. I think that's, part of, if I had to go downstairs all the way to get it, then that's going to make it a lot harder. And make it unsatisfying is that I know that that kind of behavior, it's an automatic behavior that's not coming from my highest self, the me that I want to be. It's coming from, and it can kind of create some of these negative feelings in you sometimes. And you're right, you compare yourself to other people and that kind of stuff. All right, so he says, how do you either break a habit that you want to let go of or create a new habit? First of all, you make a plan. And the plan says it has to include action, time, and location. So I will, whatever the action is, at a specific time and in a specific location. So say for example, I was trying to do a daily yoga practice. So I will do 20-minute yoga workout at 7:30 a.m. every morning in my yoga space that I've created. Okay, so you see you're really putting some tangibles on it. And then you stick with it. So he says one way to help stick with it is the habit stacking. So you stack your new habit that you want to create on a habit that you are already doing. So for example, mine might be like right after I have my morning hot drink, I do my yoga. So you're, or you might say, if you wanted to do, say, perhaps daily affirmations, you might say, right after my shower in the morning, I will do my daily affirmations. Pick something that you do all the time. Maybe, you might brush your teeth every morning. So you might pick something to do after that. One thing I use a lot with my clients, I talk because I know how powerful gratitude practices are, especially first thing in the morning and right before you go to sleep. So here's a great one for going to sleep. After I turn off my light, so you get into bed, maybe you read for a little bit, but after I turn out my light, I will do 3 gratitudes. I will think of 3 things that happened during the day that I'm grateful for. And that's a great way to make you feel peaceful and calm. It helps you sleep better. It just feels good. So we're stacking it. We're stacking it on top of something you do automatically anyway. We're gonna that'll turn out the light before I go to sleep, right? So so you stack a habit on top of another one. And then track it. So track it. I'm going to share this with you. I think I got this already saved. I'm going to paste it. There we go. So I've got a daily habit checklist. So you don't have to give me email address or anything like that. You can just go download this from my website. So it's a daily habit checklist. So you can write different habits on there and then check it. That's a way for us to. It's a way of adding that attractiveness. We're very motivated by seeing those check boxes, and then when you do it every day, you will that will help motivate you because, like, I don't want to miss my check box for today, right? So that's one way of making it kind of attractive. Okay, another thing you can do is make a habit contract by having goals. So you can state what your goal is. You can have a consequence. Now, so you can say to yourself, some people do this like out loud, I am going to, actually, my husband, he's going to be doing a polar dip. So he's going to do a polar dip. And so he's raising money for the SPCA. He could make a consequence that if he does not do that polar dip, that he has to pay that money out of his own pocket for the SPCA. So there you go. So a consequence of not doing it. So when you do that, you are really, really reinforcing, because the consequence is painful to us, right? And we are very motivated. We're actually motivated more by avoiding pain than by gaining pleasure, believe it or not. So you could try to reward yourself with something, but we're much more motivated when we have a consequence. So maybe you might think about what you could use as a consequence if you didn't reach that goal. And when you declare it, when you state it out loud, especially publicly, or maybe you just want one friend you're going to tell, but once you do that, it helps you commit. Okay, really helps you commit. And then the accountability piece. So yeah, having someone that's going to hold you accountable. So don't just pick someone who's going to be it's all right. Really pick someone that's going to hold you accountable to your goal so that you can create these habits that are serving you. All righty. Of course, if you want a coach, I'm there for you. This is what I do all the time with people. I help them. I help them create optimal health by creating these new habits that are going to serve them and not do the things that aren't serving them. So if you want to connect with me on that, if you're ready to invest in your health, I only have one spot right now, and I only do this. I work with people that are ready. So if you want to talk to me about it, it's janehoganhealth.com/connect to set up a little appointment, 20-minute appointment to talk about it. So I just have one spot right now. Anyway, I hope you found this really helpful. Let me know in the comments what your takeaway is. Maybe you want to even commit to something. You want to commit to something in this group on this page, commit to something you want to change in your life. I welcome you to do that. It's going to help you. It's going to help you commit and make it a reality. Okay, I hope you have a lovely day. I'm Jane Hogan, the Wellness Engineer. Thank you so much for joining me. I just got a little message from Eva. Said, I'm walking every day. Thank you for the motivation. Awesome, Eva. Fantastic. Okay, have a wonderful day. Bye.